is So Wizard, Annie.
Hey, this is Daniel.
And Dean.
From the IMDb Journey podcast.
And you are listening to the So Wizard podcast.
Broadcasting very fast and very dangerous from the planet Malastare. You are listening to So Wizard.
You're thinking people gonna die?
The only podcast to make the Kessel Run in under 12 parsecs.
There'll be no one to stop us this time.
What's going on, everybody? It is time for episode number 220. So Wizard Podcast. I'm your host, Joey DiCarlo. My co-hosts are the queen of all nerds, Aubrey Litchfield.
220. Kind of funny.
And the expert, Mr. Marquis Marcellus Reagans.
Trick or treat, bitches. What's going on?
You are listening to So Wizard Podcast. Three friends discuss the world of nerd, podcasting weekly. This week, we're going to discuss some nerdy news. We've got a listener question, and then we're going to jump right into a review of the newest movie, the Halloween franchise, strangely titled Labor Day.
Groundhog's Day.
Flag Day.
Secretary Day. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Halloween. Even though, much like we discussed last week on the podcast, the first movie is called Halloween.
Right, and the reboot is called Halloween.
Halloween. And the sequel to Halloween is called Halloween. We're going to have to come up with another title for it. But
Halloween.
Halloweenies. I think that's a different type of movie, actually, altogether. Oh, boy. Great. So let's find out how everybody's doing. Aubrey, what's going on in the world of Aubrey?
Absolutely nothing. There's nothing exciting.
Say it again.
Absolutely nothing. There was nothing going on.
All right. I completely understand. Just working and sleeping, right?
Exactly. The holidays are coming up.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah.
That's when you kiss your family goodbye and tell them you'll see them sometime in January.
Yeah. If you're not dead by then.
That's right. Well, you're already dead inside, so why not have the outside match?
I feel dead inside already.
Excellent. How about you, Marcellus? What is going on? Tell us, Marcellus.
There's nothing really going on in my life. I was working on my project, which I was hoping to be done in time for BingCon, and it turns out I'm not going to be able to have it done in time. So I was a little disappointed this week that I couldn't pull it off. But I am going to finish it. Unfortunately, it just won't be done in time for BingCon. But other than that, nothing much. You know, I'm watching movies, doing my thing, and editing podcasts. That's what I do.
Excellent. And we love you for it.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, as for me, my friends, I actually did something this past week, which is surprising.
What?
I know. My daughter and I went to a concert that she really wanted to go see, which was for something called Brockhampton. I was really excited to see the tale of Ash's friend from Pokemon moving to an exclusive rich suburb in upstate New York, but that's not what this was.
That's a joke just for the Pokemon fans. That went right over my head.
Right. Yeah, this was, it's like a rap boy band, I guess. It's really not my thing, but Janine really liked it, so that was fun. And it was really easy to get to. It was on the Boston University campus at the hockey arena. So we got right off the pike. We parked. We walked right to the arena. We left. We drove home. And Janine had a good time. So that's the best I can say about it.
That's cool. That's cool, dude. So like I said, when she gets into K-pop and you start bringing her to K-pop concerts, that's going to be a whole different story.
AOGG. I don't think I could afford to go to K-pop concerts based on, I have a friend that has seen BTS 3 times, and the amount of money that's cost is it makes New York Comic Con look like a trip to Dollar Tree.
I could believe it.
So, good times. But, enough about us. Let's talk about us. Marcellus, why don't you tell the listeners out there where they can find more So Wizard Podcast?
All right. So everybody can go to SoulWizardPodcast.com where you will find new episodes every week. You'll also find some movie reviews from yours truly, Netflix and Amazon streaming picks from our buddy Adam Mollyhawk. You'll also find some merchandise there so you can purchase some of our t-shirts. Look good while you're representing the show. Another great way to support our show is by doing your Amazon shopping through the link that we keep right on the website. Click on that A, do your shopping, receive your products, and you'll be helping out our little show. You can also find our social media links there. We have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Instagram. You can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review while you're there. You can also listen to us on the Stitcher Radio app for your tablet or smartphone. Find us on Podbean, on Google Play Music, and you can also stream us through Spotify. You can also support our show through our Patreon account, patreon.com/SoulWizardPodcast. And this week's K-pop jam is international star Dua Lipa teaming up with my girls Blackpink. Kiss and Makeup. Back to you, Joey.
Take it or leave it, losers.
Did you say that was Night of the Lipas?
No, her name is Dua Lipa.
Oh.
What
Did
the
you
hell
ever
is
see the-
Night of the Lipas?
Have you guys never seen that movie? Am I the only one?
Never even heard of it.
You're the only one.
It's a really bad 70s horror movie about giant rabbits attacking a town. And it's all filmed with practical effects achieved by taking actual rabbits and putting them in like a train set.
I've seen clips of that. I didn't know there was a name or that it was an actual movie.
Yeah, I've been begging Cult 45 to do it for like 2 years, but they don't.
I can't imagine why.
Those poor men. All right, fantastic. Well, we're going to talk some news, and Mark, you're going to present it to us. So let's go.
Yo, pump it up. It's time for the news. Yo, we getting ready to bring you the news, boy.
I always imagine you dress like Christian Bale from Newsies while that plays and you dance.
Really?
Does that happen or no?
No. It's strictly Hammer time. I got the genie pants. I'm doing a typewriter across the floor. All right. So this week in nerdy news, there actually was not a lot of news this week. Something that did happen though, earlier in the week is that we are getting a name change for a character that's been around for over 70 years. A lot of people know him as Nightwing. Some people know him as Robin, the Boy Wonder. Some people know him as Dick Grayson, but starting now, he will no longer be Dick Grayson. He will be Rick Grayson. They've decided to change his name because Dick means other things, and they figured it's about time. So, starting now, moving forward, it's a little bit too late for the Teen Titans TV show, but moving forward, when you pick up a Batman comic book and you look for Richard Grayson's name, his name will be Rick Grayson, not Dick Grayson. So what do you guys think about this name change after 70 plus years or 60 plus years? Joey.
Fuck Batman.
This is stupid. Like, no one cares. Does anybody care about that? Is it like, is the absolute worst of comic books? Is that everything going on in Nightwing right now is the worst of comic books because he just got shot in the head and like he can't remember things and like who he is, and now he's changed his name to Rick.
Mm-hmm.
It's just terrible. It's awful. This is just god awful, and I expect it to be like completely ignored or forgotten within 6 months to a year.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
All right, we'll see. I'm just waiting for Clark Kent to change his name to Clarkson. Clarketh.
Kelly Clarkson?
All right, Aubrey, what about you? How do you feel about Dick Grayson becoming Rick Grayson? Not even Richard Grayson, just Rick Grayson.
I think this is stupid. So fucking stupid. Robin's still going to be the butt of people's jokes. Look at Aquaman.
That's true. It's very true. There may not be any escaping from that at all.
Yeah. This is stupid.
You know what Robin says to Batman when he's like making a bunch of jokes about him and being a jerk?
Fuck Batman.
That'll never be not funny.
All right. So yeah, that's just a little bit of news that, like I said, it's a slow news week. I had to dig really deep for that one.
That is terrible news. Not because it's of you. It's just like, that's the stupidest fucking thing I ever heard. Imagine getting paid money to sit around an office and think of that idea. We are in the wrong business.
I mean, there is something to be said about them. Well, actually, I take that back. Comic books change all the time. So yeah, like you said, Joy, they'll probably forget about it in like a month or so. But there is something to be said about someone going, all right, now we're going to change this. Something that's been established for like 70 something years. All I want is for them to bring back the red trunks. They bring back the red trunks, then I'm good. They can do whatever they want. All right. So then in other news that happened this week, comic book / TV news. Last week we were talking about Iron Fist getting canceled off of Netflix. And then not too long right after that, right during the premiere of season 3 of Daredevil, Netflix announced that they are canceling Luke Cage also after 2 seasons. So there's a lot of theories of why they're doing this. I personally don't understand why. I think the ratings were really good from what I understand for season 2, and they did leave it off on a cliffhanger. So I am a little bit disappointed that we're not going to get a season 3, especially because I've come to like those characters so much. But I think they're leaving the door open for other opportunities. What do you think of Luke Cage being canceled after 2 seasons, Aubrey?
I'm not really surprised.
Really?
I think they'll cancel Jessica Jones next, and then cancel Daredevil last. Seems like that's the way that they're going. So I guess I'm not really surprised. I don't think it took off the way that they thought it would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It is very strange that they would cancel Luke Cage first before Jessica Jones. Because I don't think the critics were too hot on the last season of Jessica Jones.
I don't know. I think Luke Cage hasn't been out as long as Jessica Jones.
Well, they've got Jessica Jones season 3 in the can, so they can't cancel it until that airs.
Until it airs. That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, so Joy, what about you? What do you think about Luke Cage being canceled?
I couldn't make it through season 2, so like I understand, but I think there's a lot of behind the scenes machinations that have really nothing to do with the actual shows.
Yeah,
that's going on. Whether it's a Disney streaming service, Netflix announced today they're going to spend $2 billion on new content.
That's ridiculous,
and it's really more about they don't own these shows,
right?
So, yes, they get to put Luke Cage on Netflix, but if you buy a Luke Cage t-shirt, Netflix doesn't get any money from that.
Right.
You buy a Stranger Things t-shirt, Netflix gets the money from that. So it's really more about them controlling and owning their own content. So they're going to let these shows go. And allegedly that the Marvel Netflix stuff is really expensive to film.
Oh, hell yeah.
Even with the tax breaks they get for filming them in New York City. They're still super expensive to film. So allegedly that's part of the reasoning is it just the cost sunk in for what is eventually going to turn into a commercial for someone else's streaming service.
Right.
Is just not worth it. If they can just bang out one more Stranger Things size hit, none of that matters. None of those 4 shows matter anymore. But Punisher season 2 is already filmed. Daredevil season 3 is airing right now. And Jessica Jones season 3 is in the can waiting to be dated, so at least we'll get that.
Yeah, and I know that they had, for Iron Fist for season 2, they had reduced the number of episodes that they usually do. I know it's normally 13, but I think they cut it back to about 10, if I remember correctly. And even with that shortened amount of episodes means a smaller budget, they still gave that show the axe. So these shows really need to, I would assume they really need to knock it out of the park like big time in order to stay on Netflix. But do you guys think that with Netflix losing these shows that the Disney streaming app is going to like pick them up again, maybe remix them and do like a Heroes for Hire type of thing? Joey?
No. If anything, they'll go to Hulu.
Really?
Because they're all, Disney Flix is going to be PG-13 and below rated. You can't have Luke Cage and Jessica Jones having crazy monkey sex.
You could on HBO.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean? But you're not going to have that on a Disney streaming service. And that's part of the reason why they're never going to be 100% connected to the movies at all. Because they just don't fit in with what they're doing content-wise. So I guess Hulu is supposed to be where Disney is going to have more mature rated things. So
You mean like Runaways and Cloak and Dagger?
Well, that was before. Those were on there before all this kind of shook down. But yeah, that's the idea. More mature content. Like American Horror Story is not going to be on Disney Flicks. It's going to be on Hulu,
Right.
for example. So, these could move over there. I don't know how the contract works. Does that just mean, Luke Cage season 1 and 2 are always going to be on Netflix? There's just no continuation? Or does it mean that they disappear from Netflix and appear on Hulu at some point? Like, I don't know. But I think, the way we're looking at it is most of this is done at this point. You should just be happy with what you have at this point.
No, what about you, Aubrey? Do you think there's any way that Iron Fist and Luke Cage can exist somewhere else other than Netflix?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I guess we'll see.
I think that they could just take the Netflix stuff and yes, it's a hard R right now. Just edit it. Just trim it down to a PG-13 and release it that way. And that way you can do season 3 and season 3 and season 4 of Luke Cage, or you can do Heroes for Hire and those characters will exist. Just once because they're leaving Netflix. So that means that Disney owns them now, right? The rights go back to Disney.
Well, Disney always owned them. It was just Netflix had distribution rights.
Right. But Disney can do whatever they want to they could make a PG-13 version of Iron Fist season 3 if they wanted to.
Yeah. Once Netflix is like, we don't want this anymore. Now it's Disney's to do whatever the hell they want.
Yep.
So
I'm telling you, dude, I say they take it all back, re-edit, all of those seasons from a hard R down to like a PG-13 and just keep it going. Keep it moving.
Just put Colleen Wing on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We'll be done. That's all I need.
There you go. All right. So, and then speaking of Netflix spending money on new stuff, it looks like Guillermo del Toro finally has a place for his Pinocchio movie that he's been dying to make for 15 years or so. I'm going to announce this now, knowing that there's a really good chance that this will never see the light of day because it's Guillermo del Toro. His Pinocchio movie is going to be on Netflix, and it's going to be set up as a stop motion animated musical. Hot off of the Academy Award winning Shape of Water, he's doing a stop motion animated musical. I like Guillermo del Toro. I like when his movies come out eventually. I know he's been working on this for a while, so I am a little bit excited to see what happens. Does a Pinocchio done by Guillermo del Toro in a stop motion vibe something you might be interested in, Aubrey?
No, I fucking hate Pinocchio.
Even Jonathan Taylor Thomas is Pinocchio?
Yes, I've always hated Pinocchio. Growing up, I was petrified of Pinocchio because he gets eaten by a whale. So my father thought the perfect thing to do would be to make me watch this movie over and over and over again. It was like, look, it's your favorite movie. I was like, this fucking movie's petrifying. That movie and E.T., petrifying for me. And now I'm terrified of oceans and dark
Whales.
Water. Yeah, whales. Fucking petrified. I'm going to get swallowed by a whale.
Beacon spells.
Yeah, so no, I don't want to see Pinocchio. Fuck Pinocchio. Fuck that movie. I don't want to see it.
Wow.
Cannot pay me enough to go see that fucking movie.
Aubrey's going to beat up a bunch of guys in the alley and be like, fuck Pinocchio.
Yes, I am. You cannot give me enough money to go see that fucking movie.
Well,
and I have PTSD over fucking Pinocchio.
Well, you know what, Aubrey?
Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
No.
It's going to be on Netflix, so you don't have to go anywhere to watch it.
Good, I ain't gonna fucking watch it.
All right, so we might have to have a guest host on that week's episode.
Yep. I'm telling you now, I ain't fucking watching it.
Jesus.
Well, Aubrey, to be on the safe side, or just I wouldn't worry too much about it. Like I said, it is Guillermo del Toro, so there's a 99.9% chance that this will never see the light of day. Joey, how do you feel about Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio?
I like Guillermo del Toro. I'll watch pretty much anything he makes. I have not watched The Shape of Water because it looks boring, but other than that, I generally like his projects, even when they're bad. Even when they're bad, they at least look cool or have cool ideas behind them.
Right.
So, I'm always down to check something of his out. But just like you said, I don't think there's a possibility this never comes out. So it's hard to really when he announces something, it's hard to get excited for it.
Right. But he does
still waiting for Tom Cruise is in the Mountains of Madness.
He does have he has some other animated shows on Netflix, so at least he's somewhat established a track record with them. So there's a chance.
I don't know. He's not directing either, right?
Oh no, he is. This is his movie. This is his.
Oh, okay.
This is his follow-up.
It's just him like Troll Hunters on Netflix, where he just stamps his name like Guillermo del Toro presents, and then like he comes up with the idea, and a whole bunch of other people actually do it. Then it actually comes out.
Right.
But yeah, if he's involved, I don't know.
Yeah, this is his big follow-up. It's like, all right, you've won the Academy Award for Best Picture of the Year. What are you going to do now? Netflix.
Make Catwoman. It's Halle Berry, sorry.
So I'm looking forward to it. All right. So then in other late-breaking news, it looks like Wonder Woman is going to be moving. It's originally scheduled to come out November 1st of 2019. Now it looks like it's been pushed up to June 5th of 2020, which kind of makes sense. It's more of a comic book movie, so I think they might do better in the summertime as opposed to Thanksgiving time. So I don't think there's any trouble that's happening on the set. I think they're just trying to get it at a better date. But I don't know. That's just me. Joey, how do you feel about Wonder Woman moving up a few months to from Thanksgiving to summertime?
Kal-El, no.
I don't really care. I didn't love the first movie in any way, shape, or form. I know other people did. Aubrey. And it is what it is. Like you said, there hasn't been any word of the movie having trouble or anything. It just seems like they're just moved it out of a very busy time of year to a busier time of year. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking, but I'm sure that there's people that get paid way more money than I do that think this is a good idea. So what did it say in the statement that was read?
Super excited to announce that thanks to the changing landscape, we are able to put Wonder Woman back to its rightful home. June 5th, 2020. Be there or be square. Kal-El, no.
Thank you, Gal Gadot.
That's right. Thanks, Gal. Maybe they're still trying to figure out how Chris Pine is in the movie. They're just filming scenes with him. They don't know how it works yet.
Throwing ideas against the wall. Like, nope, that's not working. So hidden in that announcement about Wonder Woman being moved is that they also took off the $6 billion Man movie that Marky Mark was supposed to star in, that they've been working on for years. So that hasn't been moved to another date. It's been kicked off of the slate. So that one's gone. So I don't think anyone cares. I don't think there's anyone from that time era that was psyched to see another $6 billion Man movie. Aubrey, do you even know what the $6 million Man is?
I've heard of it.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Joey, what about you?
Of course I know what it is.
Are you disappointed that there's not going to be a movie?
Well, I think there's probably a cool movie to be made somewhere, but not with Marky Mark in it.
I think I have some bionic parts now.
Guys, I think we found the Transformer. Hopefully the Bigfoot shows up and explains to him the statutory rape laws of Texas.
Oh, Christ.
That joke was only for people Mark in my ages and older.
I was just about to say that no one's going to get that joke unless they're our age. Yeah. Holy shit. All right. So that's it for the news. That's all I got.
All right. So now we've got a listener question. You guys ready for a listener question?
Yes.
All right. So this question comes from Kat, Katt, which is either a very nice person that listens to our show or the evil car that fought Kit on Knight Rider.
Again, that's another joke that only certain people are going to get.
I'm trying. And their question is, what is your favorite orchestral score from a movie that is not done by John Williams? Mark Ellis.
That is a excellent question. I'm a huge John Williams fan. I love all of his scores. I would say it's a toss up between two different ones, and I couldn't figure out which one I would say was my favorite. Number one would be the Fight Club score by the Dust Brothers. I love that score so much. I love everything about it. The second one would be the Speed Racer score by Michael Giacchino, because he somehow found a way to completely incorporate all of the Speed Racer themes and still make it sound like an epic movie. It's incredibly beautiful. So I can't pick the two because I listen to both of those constantly. So I got to say those two. It's a toss up.
All right. What about you, Aubrey?
Lord of the Rings.
I knew that was going to be your answer. Even though the guitar solo or / keytar solo from Thunder by Imagine Dragons sounds just like Lord of the Rings. You're a big Imagine Dragons fan, right, Aubrey?
I try not to listen to them. They play in some sort of ad on GameStop TV, and I don't even remember what song it is or what they even are singing. I just know it's them.
Thankfully, we don't live in the Arrowverse, because if it started playing, we'd all have to start making out in slow motion.
I was going to say that's the only time I listen to Imagine Dragons.
When you make out people in slow motion.
In slow motion, it's like, oh, hold on 1 second.
Awesome. All right, so I have two. One is Pacific Rim.
Really?
I love that soundtrack. The main theme rules.
Nah.
Oh, God. And Pirates of the Caribbean.
What?
What?
Really?
You don't like that?
The first one.
Well, we're not talking about the movie. I'm just talking about the score.
The score, yeah.
Yeah, I love the main title theme from Pirates of the Caribbean.
I never would have guessed that.
Okay.
No, there's nothing about those scores that like stand out at all. Like I know like the main theme of it, but I just assume you would be like, I don't know, the Avengers or.
No Marvel movie has a good score at all, except the Avengers.
Thor Ragnarok.
That doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
So good.
You can't say Led Zeppelin songs from Thor. It doesn't count.
So good.
Well, Danny Elfman's Batman score, 89 Batman score.
It's all right. But the Prince album's better.
All right. Fair enough.
All right. Well, thank you, Kat, for your question. And you can ask a question by sliding into our DMs on social media or emailing us, SoWizardPodcast@yahoo.com. All right. And with all that out of the way, let's get on to our review of Halloween 2018. We all had a chance to go see it over the weekend. Everybody, let us know what you think. Just non-spoiler to start. Mark Ellis.
Non-spoiler, I did not like it.
Ooh. All right. Anything non-spoilery you could say as to why you didn't like it?
I thought it was dumb.
Okay. Aubrey.
Fucking hated this movie.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Aubrey.
Any reason why you hated it?
Almost fainted in this movie.
Yes, tell us all about what happened to you at the movie theater. I feel horrible about this.
I got so anxious and scared that I couldn't even walk. I was like, oh my God, I'm not in good shape. And I had to go get food afterwards to just try to bring a little sense back to my face. Like my face, all the color was gone. And I was trembling. And I was clutched onto Josh. And he was like, seriously, let's just leave. And I was like, no, I'm going to finish this. But I was so anxious. My heart rate went up too high. And it made me almost faint.
Oh my God. I knew you didn't like horror movies, but now I feel like an awful person for being like, yeah, you're just going to go see it, whatever. I
made it through. I soldiered on.
There you go. Next up on the list, Pinocchio.
I think that is like 27 years of anxiety right there.
Jesus. All right. I thought it was fine. You know, it's all right. I guess I'm the most optimistic person out of all three of us. It was fine.
I don't understand that at all.
It was a horror movie. What were you expecting it to be?
I don't know. A good movie?
How many Halloween sequels have you seen?
That's a good question. 3.
Because
maybe
pretty
4.
bad.
Maybe 4.
They get pretty bad as it keeps going. So this is light years ahead of that.
All right. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that's one of the reasons why I didn't like it. But we'll get into it.
All right, so let's jump into spoilers, and then we'll hear all about Mark Ellis's reason and Aubrey's reasons for not liking this movie, and I'll try my best to defend it.
Spoiler alert! I had seen the future, and I had to prevent it.
Oh, that never gets old. All right, guys, what is your problem with this movie?
Okay, first of all, it could happen in real life, and I don't like it.
Oh.
And I don't like blood, and I don't like killing, and it gives me a heart attack, and then the jump scares on top of the blood and the killing, and all I could think of was, oh my God, my child's gonna die. How am I gonna protect my child from dying? So then I get going about that, and then I got thinking, oh my God, somebody's gonna stab Noah when we go trick or treating, and it's like, how am I going to protect myself when somebody stabs Noah when we're trick-or-treating? I can't even shoot a gun because my wrists are so bad from fucking lupus. And so then I'm like, better bring Josh so he could shoot somebody if they try to stab my child when he's trick-or-treating. And poor Noah. So then I get thinking about Noah bleeding out, dying because somebody slit his throat.
All right, no more horror movies for you.
Yeah,
ever.
Aubrey's all set. No, we're taking you off the books for horror movies.
This is why I can't handle it. You know, it's like, how do I go to sleep? I'm going to wake up. There's going to be somebody standing next to me. They broke into my house. I don't have a safe room. Now you see why I almost fainted.
So I can see Aubrey now is like building herself a panic room like Jamie Lee Curtis. She has like the steel curtains that come down and the basement.
Button the counter moves.
Exactly.
This is what anxiety looks like, my friends. Extreme anxiety. Non-medicated anxiety.
Well, I'm sorry, Aubrey.
It's okay. I'll live. I'll come back. I'm never going to watch it again.
Oh,
right.
I don't blame you. I'm never going to watch it again either, but for totally different reasons.
All right. Well, why did you not like it, Mark?
Because it was fucking dumb. All right. So I understand that there's a certain amount of, you have to turn your brain off for horror movies. Like that's just a given. And I understand that. But if you're going to quote unquote reboot or do a sequel to an original Halloween movie where you get rid of all of the other sequels, you would think that there's some kind of like, I don't know, some kind of like really good script. There's like a good story. You know, you have like a hot take on it that's going to be, you know, intelligent or involving, something that's going to bring you into the movie. Just having a killer go around killing people is not, that's not a good movie. I'm sorry. I know it's a horror movie and I know what it's supposed to be, but this is the same conversation I had with people who love Batman v Superman. It's like, it's not a good movie, but it has people in capes and superpowers and stuff blowing up. So that's all you really need for a comic book movie. And I'm like, no, that is not what you need more than that. I feel the same way about horror movies. I understand you have to turn your brain off for certain parts, but there's so many things in this movie that does not make sense at all. Like, why, so the podcasters are doing a murder mystery thing where they're evolving the case of Laurie Strode. They make it to the mental institution where Michael Myers is. Michael Myers is in a yellow square. And the doctor tells him, all right, don't go past the yellow square. My dude goes right up to the yellow line, right? Right up to the yellow line, holds out the infamous Michael Myers mask behind him. And like, can you sense the mask, Michael? It's right here. Michael doesn't turn around. Why doesn't he just go to the other side of the fucking yellow tape? It's a big fucking square with all of this space. Why does he stand behind him? Like that, all right, it's a small thing, but that's like, all right, fine. I'll buy into that. But then shit just starts happening in the movie. Michael Myers gets transported from the quote unquote good facility to the worst facility, and the bus crashes. All the prisoners escape. But Michael Myers somehow finds a way to walk back to the exact gas station that the podcasters are in to get his mask back. How did he know that they were there?
The mask was calling to him.
Could he smell it like a bloodhound?
I don't know. It was a 40-year-old mask. I'm sure it didn't smell good.
So this 60-year-old dude just walked this whole entire way back to get his mask and kill all the people at the gas station.
That really bothered you? Because I didn't even think about that until you just mentioned it.
It bothered the shit out of me. Like, I can understand how he's like, all right, I've been locked up for 40 years. I'm going to go get Laurie. I'm going to go kill her because that's what I do. That's what I did in the first one. That's what I'm going to do in this one. But along the way, I'm going to go and get my mask back. And in order to do that, I'm going to walk to the gas station.
What do you want him to do? Call an Uber?
Yeah. Or have somehow, actually, you know what, now that I think about it, maybe he didn't walk. Maybe he drove the truck after he killed the 10-year-old kid.
I'm sure that really helped Aubrey out when that happened.
Yeah, I fucking just lost it. When everybody started dying, I was like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm. That was kind of brutal. But all right, so Michael Myers is on a bus with, like, say, 8 other inmates. Who are out, like, holding hands and chasing butterflies. Cops were able to get all of those guys, but they couldn't get the fucking 6'3" guy in a big white suit walking incredibly slow. Have you ever seen Michael Myers run anywhere?
He doesn't have to run. That's the whole point.
Everybody's just so afraid that they trip over themselves and then he can kill them.
So
he
doesn't run.
Like the majority of the movie is people running away from him, tripping over themselves, screaming. You know what else got me is when he killed that chick in the bathroom and just like I thought he was going to rape her. I was like, I'm going to watch a rape scene. I'm going to be done with this fucking movie. I can't watch a rape scene. I can't do it. Somebody's going to rape me in a bathroom. I can't do it. I'm not going to be able to go into a public bathroom. More so than I already can. But thankfully, I didn't watch it.
So, Aubrey, this is your first Halloween movie that you've seen, right?
Yes.
And last. Is that?
Yes. I'll never watch another one.
I don't blame you. So, Joey, you didn't have any problems with this movie at all?
In terms of problems, I mean, it wasn't great, but it was fine. I wish they had spent more time fleshing out what Jamie Lee Curtis had been doing for 40 years and like more about like her house and her fortifying it and stuff. But you know, it was fine. There's things I really liked in the movie. There were scenes and things I thought were great. I loved that long shot of him walking into the people's houses and killing them all. Which is terrifying because there was literally no rhyme or reason to it. He just walked into someone's garage and then killed them. So,
right.
I thought he was going to kill that baby, and I was almost Aubrey-like. I was like, I'm going to leave. If he kills a baby, I'm out of here.
When I heard that sent me, that was the point where I almost fainted. I couldn't even watch it because I was so upset that I thought he was going to kill the baby. That was the peak of my anxiety was the baby crying, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm done."
But a lot of the things I did like were things aping, you know, John Carpenter from the first movie. There was a lot of stuff where he just kind of appears in the background, or you know, you're concentrating on a character in the foreground, and in the background it's blurry, but you can see something happening. Like, I really liked that kind of stuff. I thought that was cool. I loved when he killed that kid in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really scary. All of a sudden, he's like right in front of him, and then the light goes out, and then it comes back on. Then the light goes out, then it comes back on. I don't know. I really liked it.
So
I thought
Michael moves faster than the motion sensor, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, and then my two favorite shots in the whole movie was when he kills that kid in the backyard. He's hanging on the iron fence.
Yeah.
Her granddaughter goes over and she's screaming, and then all of a sudden he just comes out from the side. Like, that was really scary. And I fucking loved when he threw Jamie Lee Curtis over the balcony, and then he looked back down and she was gone.
Right.
Like it was like he had done in previous movies.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he was like, huh? I also loved when the daughter in the basement was like basically pretending like she couldn't shoot him, and then he comes down, starts to come down the stairs, just shoots him right in the neck. It's like, fuck off, bitch. I liked that. I liked that a lot. There were things I liked about it, but I mean, I didn't go in expecting anything more than a D-grade slasher movie. Really,
I gotcha.
I got what I expected out of it. So,
no, there's just way too many things that I could not turn my brain off hard enough to really enjoy. Like him walking into the people's houses, right? Now, I get it. That's what he did in one of the other movies. He like just walks in, kills a lady, takes the butcher knife, and that's his knife for the rest of the movie. I get that. But then there's a part of me that's like, all right, it's Halloween night, and there's like kids all over the place running around. Who leaves their door open on Halloween night? Who was not watching the front door? Who's not like at the front door waiting for kids to show up with candy?
Well, this is like a small town in the middle of nowhere, so they don't really lock their doors and stuff.
But they just showed kids like running around. Like, what was that old lady doing other than making a sandwich? Just sitting in her pink bathrobe and her rollers in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Why was she not?
Now she got killed with a hammer.
In a garage door that's open with just kids running around the street. And then there's other scenes where like the granddaughter and the other kid is walking down the street and there's no fucking kids anywhere. And I'm like, oh,
it was later on at night.
That's what I thought.
It was after their party.
That's what I thought. I'm like, oh, it's got to be later on. Kids are already in bed. And then like the next scene, they show a whole bunch of kids running up the street again. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this movie? So yeah, and there's so much shit like that happened. Why did he kill the granddaughter's best friend? Like, how did he just randomly?
Why not?
He just
happened upon.
Right. He's working his way back to Laurie, but he knows that girl is the best friend of Laurie's granddaughter. So he hides in the little kid. Exactly. He doesn't. So why is he hiding in that little kid's closet?
Because it's scary.
I think it was because he had gone off after babysitters, right? They said in the movie that he killed babysitters.
He was the babysitter killer? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was a babysitter.
All right. I guess that kind of makes sense of why he was there. He just lucked out that it happens to be the granddaughter's best friend.
Yeah.
And
I think it just was bad luck.
The way to kill a babysitter is to sneak into the house, go up into the kid's closet, and just wait there.
She looked really familiar, and I forgot to check who she was.
So I understand the whole, like, all right, Jamie Lee Curtis is now, Laurie has spent the past 40 years getting prepared for this moment. There's a part of me that kind of thinks that she was the one that, like, blew the tires out of the bus that sent all of the inmates free so that Michael Myers could work his way back to her. There's a part of me that kind of thinks that. But I get the fact that she's supposed to be the monster now. Or they're supposed to be like, the roles are supposed to be reversed. He's coming to her and she's ready to kill him. And then when he gets to the house, like she spent all of this time preparing for this moment. And when he gets to the house, he almost kills her right off the bat. Like he pushed his hands through the door and almost chokes her out.
I liked that.
What the fuck was she? She spent 40 years getting ready for this and she almost gets snuffed 2 seconds into the fight.
She wasn't ready for it. Even after all that time, she thought she was ready and she was not ready.
All right. So then there's the big battle that happens in the house. And you know what? The thing about this movie is that I saw this before in Terminator 2 and it was done way better. Where Sarah Connor becomes the person that has to kill someone to save the future or change the future. And that was done way better. Jamie Lee Curtis becoming the quote unquote killer, falling off the balcony and then disappearing and then coming back in the house. Yeah, that's good. I don't think it was executed well at all.
It wasn't earned at all. And that's kind of what I said. I wish we had more time to kind of explore that and build up that, but we didn't. So you get what you get.
And there's that whole subplot with her granddaughter and the boyfriend, which honestly, you can take all of those scenes out of the movie and it would not change one fucking thing.
That's how they got her daughter in the police car, because she didn't have her phone. She wasn't responding to her phone. So then she had to walk home. And that's how Michael got her friend and then ended up with her getting picked up by the cops, which gets her in the car with the doctor.
Oh, the doctor. Now, see, that whole subplot was just a reason for her to get rid of her phone. That's the only reason why the boyfriend was even in the movie.
Yes.
Which is fucking... So what... So do we need to see him at dinner? Do we need to see them need to see him cheat on her if the whole point of his story is to get rid of her phone?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. That's fine. This movie fucking sucks.
Oh my god!
All right.
Was there anything you liked about it?
Yeah, it was filmed nice. The guy who actually filmed the movie, like directing wise, there's some shots in here that are fucking beautiful. And I'm like, yes, I can see the person behind the camera actually has some talent. Whoever wrote this script, though, they need to it made like $77 million this weekend. So clearly I'm in the minority when it comes to how much I think this movie makes no sense at all. But visually it's cool. I don't understand how 60-year-old Michael Myers can smash the back of a police car and kill the driver. Like, how strong is this guy?
He's pure evil. He's the Shape.
Right. Now, if this was part 8 of Halloween, I could buy that. But this is part 2. There's nothing in the other movie that shows that he would be a 70-year-old man who's able to crush people like that.
You're overthinking this way too much.
I'm just saying, I just want maybe I am, but I want some kind of, I don't know. If you're going to do that, at least make the story compelling or interesting. It was so basic.
70-year-old Michael Myers fighting 60-year-old Jamie Lee Curtis is not going to be an interesting movie.
All right. So what did you think of the doctor all of a sudden killing the police sheriff who just was driving down the street? No one can find Michael Myers, but this police sheriff is driving down the street and he goes, oh, there he is. Let me just run him over with my car. How about call for backup or something like that, dude? Or shoot him or something. You have to run him over. But he runs over Michael Myers, and then the doctor kills the police guy and takes Michael Myers' mask, and then with one arm puts Michael Myers in the back of the police car with the granddaughter.
Yes. All right. I thought that was ridiculous. I didn't know how long the movie was going to spend waiting for him to drag him into the car.
Because he got shot earlier in the movie. He only had one working arm, and yet he was able to pick up 6'5" Michael Myers and throw him in the back of a car with one arm.
I think the implication is supposed to be that the doctor set this all up to happen.
Mm-hmm. So that he can
he's the one that caused the bus thing, and so he could observe Michael in his environment, like killing people and stuff.
Right. But he didn't plan on being trapped in a bus and getting shot by a 12-year-old.
No.
Dumbass. Oh my God, dude, this movie is dumb. I'm sorry.
Jesus. Aubrey, was there anything you liked about this movie?
No.
It ended? Was that good enough?
Yes, that was good enough. The entire time I was like Cleveland from Family Guy. Oh, no. Couldn't handle it.
I feel really bad. Well, Mark, after the credits, if you wait, you can hear him breathing.
Oh, great. So that means there'll be another one.
Well, I knew there was going to be another one because they didn't show his body.
Right. It's fucking stupid. And I liked this movie the first time I saw it when it was called H2O.
Was Busta Rhymes in that one?
Yes. That's what was missing from this movie. It needed one small fraction of Busta Rhymes in there.
Well, I liked it enough to forgive Halloween for Halloween 6.
Oh, is that the one with Ant-Man?
Yes, that one's not only is that movie horrendously bad, but I tried to go on a date to see it with my wife, who at the time was 16, and they wouldn't let us into the movie theater. So I didn't see it until it came out on home video. So for the longest time, I held a grudge against Halloween for ruining my date.
And then you watched the movie and you're like, I had to fucking wait for this classic movie.
That's right. I dodged a bullet on that one.
Yeah. So I'm glad that I'm glad it made money. Good for John Carpenter and good for the people involved. I think this movie fucking sucks, and I will not be going to see the second one, or the next one, I should say.
I'll be right in the theaters for Halloween 2, Michael Myers Boogaloo with Aubrey.
Yeah.
So why don't we wrap it up? We'll go around and give a score out of 5. Aubrey.
0.
Jesus.
Fuck it. 0.
Marcellus.
1 out of 5.
Wow. 1.
Fuck this movie.
Wow. I gave it a 2.75 out of 5.
Oh, that's way too generous.
No, it's not. I thought it was all right for what it was.
Yeah, sure.
For what it was.
Again, this is like Batman. This is Batman v Superman all over again. Yeah, there's people flying around. There's capes. That's fine. I'm good with it.
I didn't say I liked it. I just said it was what I expected it to be. It was a horror movie.
Yeah, you're right. It's all my fault. I was expecting something a little bit, I don't know. I figure if they're going to reboot it, they're going to reboot it. It's like they're redoing the new Terminator movie where they're getting rid of all of the other sequels that happened. I'm assuming that the reason why they were able to bring back Sarah Connor is because they have like a good script with a good story and it's going to make sense. Not like, we're just going to have some robots show up and Sarah Connor's going to shoot them in credits.
Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
All right. Well, that's our review of Halloween's to Halloween. Michael Myers will be back in To Hollow to Ween. Halloween Tokyo Drift.
Halloween, right? The next one is going to be Halloween 2 Part 3. Halloween Part 2 Chapter 8.
Halloween 2 number 15. I can't even keep track of which one it is, but let's get some recommendations. Aubrey, you're not going to recommend Halloween, but what do you recommend for the listeners out there?
Soul Calibur 6 just came out. I didn't buy it yet, but I'm really excited. So go buy Soul Calibur 6. Other than that,
But the
that's all I got.
soul still burns.
Yeah. I cannot wait to actually buy it. I'm really excited. But that's all I have for everybody this week.
I added that to my Amazon wish list for my family because I was like, and then I started seeing all the people's like creative characters online, like Chris Chan and Thanos and like all this stuff, ridiculous stuff. And like this game rules. So, all right, Mark Ellis, how about you?
Yeah, I want to recommend a Netflix series called Hip Hop Evolution. The second season is out. The first season was all about the beginnings of hip hop. The second season is all about the early 90s. So you get a lot of the Houston-based music, a lot of the Bay Area music, and then a little bit more about Tupac and Biggie. It's really cool. I only meant to watch one episode, and I wound up watching all 4 of them. It's really enveloping and it's really cool. And if you like hip hop, it's a great documentary series called Hip Hop Evolution on Netflix.
Awesome. I will recommend that all of you go to SoWizardPodcast.com where you can find the podcast every week. Links to all our social media accounts on the right-hand side of the page, movie reviews and streaming picks from Adam and Mark Ellis and so much more. SoWizardPodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes / Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or just about anywhere else you find podcasts under the sun. Check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/SoWizardPodcast. You get an extra episode, at least one extra episode of the podcast every month when you join the $3 TKO crew tier on our Patreon. Coming up next month on Patreon exclusive will be our take on Marky Mark is The Happening from Mark Ellis' favorite director, M. Night Shyamalan.
That's not true. I will not admit to that at all.
And we'll also have our exclusive review of Bohemian Rhapsody on Patreon only. So get on board, patreon.com/SoWizardPodcast. Let me recommend some things here. Daredevil Season 3 on Netflix. I'm only 2 episodes in, but it's freaking awesome so far. And the only thing you need to know about Defenders is literally like one thing, and they tell it to you in the recap within 5 seconds of the start of the episode. So you don't even have to have watched Defenders, which is good because it was terrible. And I will also recommend that you check out The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix, which will be starting very soon this week, because that's what we'll be talking about next week on episode 221 of the podcast. But this has been episode 220 of the podcast, So Wizard Podcast. On behalf of my co-hosts, the queen of all nerds, Aubrey Litchfield.
Sleep well, my friends, because you know I won't.
I'm so sorry. And the expert, Mr. Marquis Marcellus Reagan.
The next time we see Aubrey, she's going to be all buffed and jacked up like Ronda Rousey, just ready to kill anyone. Sorry, Aubrey.
It's okay.
Wakanda forever.
Send your money to Patreon to pay for Aubrey's psychologist bills. We'll see you next week. Good journey.